Well, I've noticed a lot of people who watch my videos will only do the first 30 seconds. For the sake of those people who actually do want to get some value in 30 seconds, here it is, the too long didn't watch version, how to transfer a large poster size printout using Pan Pastel for no mess onto a piece of paper for tracing. In my case, I'm using Pastel Mat. If you'd like to see the long version and the instructions, here we go. Now I've got 8 pieces of A4 paper, and I've printed it out on a laser printer, and they've all got a margin of about 5mm down the side. You can see the white strip there between her hair, and I'm just laying them out on my piece of paper first to see that they all fit. And I used Adobe PDF. There's a video I did on how to print it out, take a photo and enlarge it to poster size. In my case, I'm making it fit a 50 centimeter by 70 centimeter piece of Pastel Mat for my painting. So you can refer back to that previous video if you want to know how to get the poster size. But what it does is, because my printer doesn't print right to the edge, I need to use a paper trimmer. The printer leaves nice little guidelines, little cross in each corner to show you, or I think it's a T shape really, and it shows you where to put your trimmer and cut that line to. So you just get rid of the waste, and then when you connect them together, they're going to be, that whole photo is going to join up together properly. Yes, keep a happy marriage by cleaning up the trimmer afterwards. It will pick up fragments of paper as you slide it along, and eventually if you don't clean it, they will catch and rip the card or piece of paper you're working on next. As I'm tacking it down, I'm only tacking the bits where I'm not going to be tracing over. It just gets all lumpy and horrible if you just try and tack everywhere. You don't need to, you're just holding it together, and the Pan Pastel is not going to create a lot of dust, so you don't need to worry about a lot of dust falling in between the lines of as you're putting it over the back. So the next thing that I do, you'll notice I've got a lot of white space in my composition that I'll fill in with background, and I didn't need to, I'm not tracing his whole back, so take a big chunk of that out. And I just flip the paper and put marks on it to do an outline around my subject. There's no point covering all the paper with pastel when you're about to do a carbon copy, I guess we used to call it. You only want to have your pastel on the bits where you are going to be needing to trace. So that's why I'm just marking it out first, going, just to let myself know I do not want to put any pastel in those spaces, but I now know the borders. And I'm going to be using a titanium white. And what I really recommend is using neutral grey if you're using Pan Pastel rather than titanium white, because you're probably like me and just use normal printer paper, which is a very bright white, and it can be hard to see the titanium unless you've got a grubby applicator like I have, and it'll turn it a little bit grey. So I wasn't too worried about using the titanium white, and I was just using it up. The pan was starting to empty out. Now, don't put too much on your applicator. It's not a really thick coverage. When you do your trace over the top, it'll transfer through just beautifully. You just do a couple or a small area as a test patch if you want first to get your confidence. It can be a bit daunting the first time if you haven't done any tracing before, to go, well, surely I need to really cake this in pastel for it to come through, but you don't need to. And you'll notice there's no dust coming off, unlike using charcoal sticks, which just make your fingers all grubby, and then you just start making a mess. Or I've tried using normal pastel sticks and for doing a transfer, and just gets dust everywhere. That's not healthy, and it's waste of pastel as well. Pan Pastel, very economical way for doing a transfer. So that's it. Just a quick clean up with a wet wipe, and then on it goes. And I'm ready to, once I've set it in position, that's my original photo that I'm working from. And you see I've cropped it back quite a bit. And then just away you go with a normal pencil on top. I prefer to use a pencil because it lets me know where I've been. And you don't want one too sharp. I keep mine blunt, otherwise you can go through the paper and damage your surface underneath. And when I first started doing this, I tended to trace everything, every line of hair, just every detail. But as I got more confident, I realized all I'm really doing here is getting the proportions right. I'm getting the placement correct for where the eyes are going to be, where the lips are going to be. It's just a very fast way of doing a transfer. In the Renaissance period, they called this making a cartoon. And quite a lot of artists did it, Leonardo da Vinci. I've got a little video on the history of tracing. I'll leave a link at the end of this video if you'd like to watch it. Quite fascinating, the different ways they use to get their traces done. I'm sure if printing had been available back then, they would have used that as well. So I'm just getting an idea of where everything fits in, the shape of the head and direction of the hair, but I don't want to get each individual strand in. You'll see as I fold it back, you can barely see it. But nice little transfer, ready for me to start doing the art. So I don't view tracing as cheating, I just view it as a quick way of getting going and making sure I'm not fiddling around going, no, I got that eye wrong, and changing it all the time. And in the end, it's really about the painting you put down. Does it really carry the emotion that you set out? That's what makes it art, not the trace. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching. We'll see you again.